Let's go! LSU, Ole Miss. I've gotten this message so many times. I just wish the season would end. No! We are fans of LSU football because of the games. Good or bad, we should enjoy it because this is going to be the last game of the year. The Lane train is coming to Baton Rouge and we are breaking it down from all different angles. So go on ahead, hit the subscribe button. It's a road to 3K. Let's go. So normally we start our keys with the LSU offense. We'll get to Max Johnson in just a moment. But the big story is the LSU defense. They've been struggling. Yeah, they were slightly better versus Florida, but slightly better while also giving up over 600 yards of offense. But LSU gets a huge break. Elijah Moore, by far Ole Miss's best offensive player, has opted out of this final game, as has their best tight end, Kenny Yeboah. So as you can tell, LSU's also pretty banged up. They'll be without some of their key players on offense, most notably Ty Davis-Price. Well, they could be without Derek Stingley Jr. and John Emery for the game, and Chasen Hines doesn't look all that great for this game. We'll get to that in just a moment. And obviously, the big key is Max Johnson for LSU's offense. Arguably the best LSU debut ever at the quarterback position, going on the road and beating Florida in the swamp. And the biggest difference we saw was his running ability, opening up lanes in the running game. So we'll see how Max Johnson responds. I know he's a little banged up. Some people are concerned about him going into this week, but it looks as if he'll be good to go for this LSU offense. Now, here's the interesting thing about special teams. Ole Miss does not kick a lot of field goals. In fact, they've only kicked 6 on the year, and those are just attempts. In fact, they've only made 4. So with, obviously, Cade York hitting probably the best field goal we've ever seen an LSU kicker kick. Obviously, we could talk Cole Tracy against Auburn, but seriously, 57 yards on the road, in the fog, in the swamp, one of the best kicks you'll ever see anywhere, even NFL. You would feel pretty good about Cade York and Zach Van Rosenberg in this matchup. Something to keep in mind, though, Luke Logan, he only has 6 field goal attempts, so you would think with a well-rested leg that he would have a lot of touchbacks. In fact, he doesn't have a high touchback percentage at all. 40% of his kickoffs are touchbacks. So LSU might have a few kickoff return possibilities in this game if they choose to do so. So, key players. Obviously, we talked about Max Johnson, but Matt Corral is a really, really good quarterback. I would like to point out, though, his road and home splits are quite different. Now, even though he's played in 2 fewer games on the road, he has as many touchdown passes as he does at home, but he does have 3 more interceptions. Earlier this year on the road against Arkansas, he was just flat out bad. And his other 2 true road games were versus Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Won the game in overtime against Kentucky. He was good in that game, and honestly, everyone's been good against Vanderbilt. So he's not really played that many good teams on the road. Granted, the LSU defense isn't all that great, but let's be honest, this is a huge opportunity for LSU's defense to actually step up and play really well. Now, why is that? Well, it's simple. Ole Miss, number 1, not an elite team. You have better athletes on defense than they do on offense, especially now that they're without their 2 best offensive weapons. Something else to keep in mind is, well, Matt Corral is a true pocket quarterback, a lot like Kyle Trask. Now, Kyle Trask did light you up, but you did have some success getting after him. Perfect example, you were able, with a twist stunt, to force a fumble right before the half, and you were able to get a critical field goal. And obviously, if you want to see the film study, you can look down below. So player number 2 is basically all the young guys for LSU. look, if you're Ed Orgeron, this game honestly means nothing. It is a great opportunity for you to put out a lot of young guys that through the pandemic has gone rep after rep after rep, worked their tail off. Well, a struggling team should have played more young guys up to this point. There's no reason for Dwight McGlothern to have sat the bench for so long, and it took a bunch of injuries and an ejection for him to finally show that he's an SEC-capable corner. I want to see all types of young players getting reps. This game means nothing. It would be great to see who actually can play in this one game. Now, it is just a one-game sample, but it gives those young guys a lot of confidence. It gives you an opportunity to see what you have, and it gives them valuable game experience for them to build on in the offseason. It makes zero sense for us to not see a guy, let's say like a Devonta Lee or Marlon Martinez. Anybody you can think of, let them get some reps. Now, I understand. You want to win this game, and this is going to be Jacoby Stevens' last game, and Jabril Cox, and all of that. But there's no reason to not, at the very least, see what you have during key spots in this game. And obviously, we always point out a coach, Lane Kiffin. I mean, come on. This guy's been arguably the SEC Coach of the Year. Elijah Drinkowitz is going to be up for that award, as will Sam Pittman. But let's be honest, the Lane train, they have created so much positive momentum in that program. So LSU opened up as a 2-point favorite. Now Ole Miss is a 2-point favorite. And this is even after the opt-out news with Ole Miss. And this is even after LSU looked like one of the best teams in the SEC on the road against Florida in the Swamp in a game that they had to have. This is after LSU has potentially their quarterback of the future, and this LSU offense looked a lot better last week. I think where the gap could be is tactically, and I pointed this out in the recruiting video earlier this week. This has been a good week for LSU. Ed Orgeron continues to prove that he's one of the greatest recruiters of all time. But Ed Orgeron and his coaching staff have not done a great job preparing their teams to play each and every week. They've not done a great job of out-scheming the opposition. Now that happens when you lose Brady and Aranda and Burrow and all your good players. That's going to happen. But a lot of you have seen it, whether it be timeout usage, whether it be halftime adjustments. Now here's where things get very interesting. The over-under right now is outrageous. 76.5. Now, that is justified because obviously these defenses are garbage. They're both really, really, really bad. Yards per play, points per game. Take a look at the Baton Rouge weather. Remember, this is a 2:30 afternoon kickoff, and it looks as if there might be some showers in Baton Rouge with maybe some heavy winds in the 10 to 15 miles per hour region. So Ole Miss and LSU, without their explosive weapons on offense, legit, their leading tight ends and wide receivers opting out, do you really think they will get up to 76.5 points? Now, it could be a 35 to 31 game, and you're at 66. You're still 10 points away. So, do you think if there is some precipitation that teams will get into the 40s? Even with both of these great offenses, I'm not so sure about that. So, if there was a play that I would like a lot, I know life is too short to bet the under, but I like the under, and obviously this is a coin flip game. I am going with LSU 38 to 31. How about that? Let me know your score prediction below. I've been responding to all of your recruiting comments, and I want to continue. Check out all the recruiting content from a crazy week with LSU football. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Boom, boom, boom! Let's go, Coach O. we doing tonight?